Previously on The Passage 2.
Fire.
When we first started our FFDC lessons, a lot of us weren't sure about the different procedures and what orders we should give as OD.
As OD, your first priority must always be your casualty. Your men cannot die.
You have to be multiple steps ahead to envision what's actually going to happen.
Never experienced being pitch black in the middle of the ocean before was a really big challenge.
It's 3 a.m. on board RSS Endurance. Daniel and his fellow midshipmen from Lion Division are getting ready to begin their watch.
My first watch was a night watch. Before you even close up as a MOW, you have maybe you take an hour or an hour and a half before to fill out the ONCE report, which is what you must show to your officer on the watch or your divisional officer.
Watchkeeping duties are essential for the midshipmen, especially when they take on the role as Midshipman of the Watch or MOW. This prepares them to become future officers of the watch in charge of driving and navigating the ship safely.
How long more you need to close up?
5 minutes. Coming into my first watch, I was completely unprepared for how much information you needed in your report just to start your watch.
Mission for Midshipman Daniel to take over as Midshipman of the Watch.
Yes, please.
Then came the actual task of being a MOW.
MNO, MOW, report. Last will order given.
Being on the bridge, being in the center, you are leading everyone around you. All the actions that you say was what's going to be taken into account.
Check. Starboard, check 191. Check starboard.
For me, it was a challenge, especially identifying the vessels, as well as taking in the information, okay, this vessel is proceeding on what course, so what is my next move to take?
Intention to come right to base course in order to...
It was tough, it was definitely very challenging, but I think it was something that inspired me to want to learn to be better and learn to be capable OW in the future, or even MOW in my next runs.
As the division keeps watch past the break of dawn, the rest of the midshipmen start their day with
Wakey at about 6 a.m. Then after that is breakfast, then FRX, which is Moscow exercise. Afterwards will be speech presentation. So everyone has to give a 180-second speech.
Use the time needed for able to respond to incidents.
Then from 9 to 12, we had FFDC drills. From 12 to 1 is lunch.
Once that is over, you go straight back into either your planning for your events or a lesson of some sort, maybe e-drills.
Okay, whenever your rudder is not responding to the help, this is where we'll come down all the way to do the rectification.
Any time of day, they will inject bridge watchkeeping. So it's 4 hours blocked out for you to go up to the bridge, control room or radio room.
Else one man has the ship, Midshipman drives the car, Midshipman watch on deck.
From 4 to 6, we have PT that we do on the ship. From 6 to 7 is dinner.
Followed by domestics, and then rounds afterwards where the EXO will come down and check the cleanliness and hygiene and standardization of our bunks.
You all see how your food is painted?
So why is it not done?
Until we meet their standards, we won't sleep.
The one who's finished never get changed.
Then nobody clean here. You got sweep.
Rounds is especially important because we are all staying in close proximity with each other. If one person falls sick, soon the rest will be. So therefore, we want to ensure that they are in a very hygienic and clean environment.
So can I expect a better standard next time?
So
4 days into MSTD, RSS Endurance has covered approximately 600 nautical miles and is 1 day away from reaching the first port of call at Sattahip, Thailand. But first, the ship has to look her best before entering the port.
As the ship sails, the ship is subjected to sea sprays, and what we do is to wash them down with water, clean the exterior of the ship before we fall into harbour.
Once everything has been scrubbed and cleaned, the midshipmen start setting up for their first port presentation. The organization and execution of this event will play a big part in the assessment on their leadership capability.
One of the ways we are training them to be leaders is through leadership development missions. They'll get tasking to plan and execute different kind of events, such as various port presentations that we'll be doing prior to calling into ports to brief the ship crew on what to expect when we call into port.
Each midshipman division is assigned different leadership development missions, or LDMs. The Sattahip port presentation is the very first LDM of this deployment.
How we decided to bring Sattahip to life was to hold a carnival of sorts. The idea was to have multiple stations that people could visit. We had 4 stations set up, and then we completely forgot about decorations.
So sir actually looked around and asked us, like, do you think this will actually entice your fellow batchmates or the ship crew to actually know more about Thailand?
What can be improved now?
We don't have much.
It's never too late.
How much less?
With just an hour to go, the division's resilience is put to the test.
Right now, just get them to sit down.
You want here? Okay, go and settle your rest.
I am the DYMCTG for our board presentation for Sattahip.
The midshipmen pulled together to finally kick off the first LDM.
I think it went well. So having to do everything last minute, I was a bit scared that it wouldn't go as planned, but everybody seemed to enjoy the stations a lot.
I'm actually very grateful for my other batchmates for helping step up and to help us blow the balloons, to prepare the whole setting.
We deserve to win first place because we know the names of everyone in the group.
I'm just looking forward to going to Sattahip and just chilling for a few days.
The midshipmen will be spending 4 days in Sattahip.
We will be very happy to see land for the first time in a few days. Just a reminder of how far we are from home and how our first leg has been completed.
They're playing Sunny Island. When I recognized it, I got a bit of goosebumps. I felt like I was coming to somewhere that recognized and like welcomed us a lot. Yeah.
Amidst the warm welcome, they have a mission to complete.
Main thing about port calls, right, is for them to experience being an RSN ambassador.
As part of the visit, RSS Endurance will host a cocktail reception for the Royal Thai Navy. Such events are an age-old tradition practiced by navies around the world. They celebrate the exchange of culture, strengthening old ties, and forging new friendships across the seas.
I'm feeling really excited as this is our first cocktail event for MST. They are having their number 3 uniform inspection in preparation for the cocktail. And they'll be interacting with foreign guests and foreign delegates, so they have to look their best.
It was very insightful for me because I never really got to talk to people who doesn't really speak the same language as myself. I'm Midshipman Benjamin Sheikh. Really had to find ways to communicate so that we both understand each other. Language barrier aside, I think we got to develop a certain level of relationship. Post for the camera. Right? At the end of the day, when I come out of NS, right, I also want to take away skills that will be applicable to me. Being able to interact despite having that language barrier is something I feel will be very useful.
Okay. Thank you. I exchanged one of my RSN coins to the Royal Thai Navy officer, and in return he actually gave me his ship's formation patch. And I was like, wow. Thailand is my first ever port of call in my journey as midshipman. So I'll definitely hold this close to heart.
Never thought I would get this kind of experience to come to Thailand to even play this beautiful game of football together with our foreign counterparts. It was a great experience. Got my man over here holding down the line.
Definitely a fun one. Also definitely a good time to let it all out when we sweat everything out in terms of the amount of stress we have experienced in the past few days of sailing. At the end of the day, what's most important, right, is that we build the relationships and friendships.
Sports always brings people together, so it's a prime example of that.
Beyond forming new friendships, shore activities at Sattahip also gave the midshipmen a chance to bond with fellow batchmates.
Adventure training!
Today will be a challenge for us to complete this very challenge.
Adventure training aims to foster teamwork, leadership and resilience in the midshipmen.
Escort her all the way.
I always knew big light was always an advantage, man.
It's not what I expected. Let's go.
So far it's been really fun. I think the most interesting one was the swing over the water.
Let's go, Jasmine!
Not my finest moment when I dropped in the first and second try, but I made it my third try, so that's what counts. All's good.
We're just gonna tie everything up together using whatever seamanship we have learned back in South Tea, and then try to build a ship. Shakes me.
And the tires will be directly below them, you'll tie it up. And the thing can just slide down.
3 tires, 2 tires, 1 tire at the top.
Trust your teammates, because they will be the only ones that have your back at the end of the day.
Push, push, push! Let's go, let's go! Let's go!
Midshipmen watch on deck.
Watch on deck!
We're currently on a ride from Sattahip to Pattaya. Intention is to have fun in Pattaya. Midshipmen watch on deck.
Roger, ma'am!
So we got to Pattaya, now we're at Terminal 21.
Pattaya is the second most visited city in Thailand and just over an hour away from Sattahip, where the ship is berthed.
I got land sickness.
We're like rocking back and forth.
The midshipmen got used to land again in no time, making full use of their shore leave in Pattaya to take a breather from their intensive sea training.
Midshipmen watch on deck!
Watch on deck!
Shore leave completed!
After 4 days in harbour, it's time to bid Thailand farewell. And on to the longest leg of the journey, travelling 2,700 nautical miles to the next port of call at Darwin, Australia.
So how many guys are here?
Everyone is more tired now. Our standards has been dropping. The instructors are getting more and more strict.
What class of fire?
Everything is more draining, more taxing, and a lot harder basically.
Your mistake! How are you gonna learn for your mistake?